Coach Carol Price-Torok's weekly media availability the week of October 28th, 2024. Roadrunners fell at Temple in Philadelphia before besting the Americans' top team in South Florida in 5 sets on Sunday in the Convo. This week, they'll head to New Orleans to play Tulane on Friday, and then we'll host Rice on Sunday for Family Day. Coach, you can start us off with an opening statement, and then Terrence, you can lead off with some questions.
Yeah, 2 tough back-to-back weekends on the road, both Fridays, and then home on Sunday. So part of the grind of our conference and the tough conference teams that we have, and just trying to battle on the road and continue to get better as we go. Temple played really, really well offensively against us on Friday. Really lit a fire under our kids on Saturday in that film session, challenged them to be better. And obviously they came out and answered the call against South Florida, arguably one of the best teams in the conference.
I guess, Coach, what's the last 20 hours been like for you and the players after the win on Sunday?
I certainly think it's exciting, but we have a lot of work ahead of us. You know, we're trying to continue to get better and better, and, you know, a lot of credit to South Florida. Really proud of our girls for answering the call. You know, I really challenged them in film session on Saturday leading into the game, you know, to step up and do their part, and everyone individually do what we know they're capable of doing. Obviously, we did that defensively. I'm going to continue to work on some offensive things this week as we get ready for the weekend. But proud of them, you know, proud of, you know, that they're staying the course, even though there's some games that are frustrating, and proud of them to, you know, answer that call at home against an awesome crowd and, you know, really well-attended game.
So kind of the typical 24-hour celebration period and then get back to work.
Yeah.
And that type of deal.
Yeah, they have an off day today, so, you know, doing some recovery and treatments and, you know, getting their mind right for another business trip this week. Again, like I said, a hard turnaround on the road Friday and then back home Sunday again against one of the top teams in the conference.
You referenced the film session on Saturday. Was it just more of kind of just details, fundamentals, or can you talk?
Yeah, a little bit of both. Obviously, we always have a scouting session on what we're doing, some adjustments we think they could make. We're able to watch their South Florida's match from Friday and see some of the things that North Texas did well against them, to talk about that and how we can, you know, maybe stretch them a little thin offensively and what we want to do to prepare to be successful, but also watching a little bit more on ourselves and challenging them to just be better individually at specific things, and really focus on specific things that can help our group do better. And I think obviously they took that to heart and played a really clean game. Obviously defensively, I thought we served really well, and put them in some pressure situations, especially when it counted. Caroline Kruger specifically had a really great serving game, and managed the way we wanted to, you know. So I think that was, you know, one of the keys to us being successful.
The fifth set against South Florida, you had a lineup out there that kind of had a little mix of youth and experience. Was that just kind of a situational thing, or just coming away from it, maybe something that you liked out and maybe want to use it more?
Yeah, I think the biggest adjustment was putting Miranda Putnicki on the opposite, more of a defensive mindset to really slow down their outsides, because we felt like their outsides were some of the best point scorers for them. And I think she did a great job of disrupting, as well as Mia. You know, when you have 2 6'4" kids on the right side who can block and block well, it definitely makes the outsides stink. So I think that disrupted them, and we were able just to continue that. I think she went in second or third set, was able to continue that momentum and just really disrupt those points and try to have them make changes and make moves instead of us kind of being on our heels from that sense. So, but we have a young team, and we have 4 upperclassmen, so we have a really young team, and we need that youth to just continue to get better as we go through the season.
You got Tulane on Friday. First time you played them was in 3, but it was a lot closer than what the score may indicate. I guess, do you go back and look at that and kind of clean up things, or do you kind of just say that was 3 weeks ago and you've moved on and gotten better?
No, a little bit of both. You know, what did they do well against us, and how do we counter that? What did we do well against them to do it again? You know, how do we manage point production, which is one of the biggest things for us right now. But our stat lines were pretty even. We had a few more attacking errors than them. I think that's why they got the better of us. So we just have to go in the mentality that we're going to go swing against them. They have really great opposites as well, and they blocked really well last time. So just working on some of that stuff and continuing to hype up our outsides and our pins, that they can do it, they can swing away, that we have their back, that will cover. Peyton Turner's doing a really great job for us coverage-wise, so our hitters feel confident in swinging away, then she's going to be there to help dig and cover those balls. So just continue to grind away at, this is your options, these are your shots, we want you to go for it, and continue to get after it.
You talked about the Friday Sunday deal. This past week it was Temple, and then South Florida was first place. Then now you got Tulane, and Rice is currently first place. So is that kind of just going on to what you talked about, just how tough this league is?
Yeah, as part of the schedule that fell for us this year, we can sit here and say it's unfair and we have the harder teams and all these things, or we can just go grind. And for me, competition's competition. We got to put a game together on the road and get a road win. And then we got to come back and face a really, really great team who beat us at their place. So it's just a little bit of mental toughness, a little bit of grinding, and knowing that we have to get through them to get what we want. We got to put back-to-back games together, and that's the biggest thing this weekend. The key that we're going to stress is one game at a time, one set at a time, one rally at a time, and put back-to-back plays, put back-to-back matches together.
Finally, I guess when you get back to practice on Tuesday, I guess, is it still focused on the fundamentals of volleyball, or do you kind of look at the situation of you're in a position where you can build off of Sunday and stack up a win here and then kind of stack up another win?
No, a lot of individual. We'll have a individual practice tomorrow, working on a lot of stuff that we want to continue to do and do well, making sure that everyone's going to come in and play a part. We've seen a lot of different people have great games. We want to continue to pump up and give those reps to our younger players, or maybe players that aren't getting as much, that their role is just as important as everybody else's, whether it's one serve, one blocking adjustment, whatever that looks like. We want to continue to make sure we're training those individuals and continuing their path of their development plan and what they can do to help us be successful, and then putting together a good defensive game plan to stop our opponents.
All righty.
I guess that wraps things up. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Terrence.